Hi, I'm Caspian from Strumtree, and today I'm going to give you a few tips for learning how to solo on the pentatonic scale on guitar. Today we're going to be having a look at the A minor pentatonic scale, and the position we're looking at is starting in the 5th fret of the 6th string, and it sounds like this. Those are the notes that we're going to use today to learn how to make our own improvised solos. An important thing to know is that improvisation on the guitar is less about creating something random and more about creating a simple, effective idea that works well in the song. And our first tip is start with just one string. If you want the notes of your solo to cut through over the top of your backing track or accompaniment, then I recommend you start with some of the top strings on the guitar because they're a higher pitch and you'll be able to hear them more clearly. So let's start with this little E string, the 1st string. We've got our finger in the 5th fret of the E string and then our pinky reaching over there to the 8th fret. So learn those two notes and we're going to create an improvised solo just using those two notes. Here we go. Simple enough, hey? I just used a very simple rhythm and just two notes. My second tip for improvising on the pentatonic scale is focusing on rhythmic quality more than melodic quality. If you're trying to create a genius melody with all the notes on the fretboard but you can't play in time to the beat, your solo is going to sound awful. But if you just focus on 2 or 3 notes and really focus on the rhythmic element, you'll create a much better sounding solo. I'm going to use the same 2 notes as we used before, but this time I'm going to focus on creating rhythmic ideas. Here we go. And already we've created something that sounds much more interesting and impressive, using just 2 notes still. My third tip for playing improvised solos is up, down, jump. And what I mean by that is you can move up the scale, you can move down the scale, and you can also jump around. First I'm going to play up the scale. This is what it sounds like. That's going up. Now I'm going to create an idea going down. And now I'm going to play an example where I jump around a bit. When you're jumping around, you can jump up or you can jump down. It's good to keep a variety of tools in the back of your mind so that you're not just playing the same thing over and over again. Which brings me to tip number 4, which is start on different notes. When you're first starting to improvise on the pentatonic scale, you may be tempted to start on the same string over and over again. But after a while, you'll notice that your solos sound pretty similar. So next time you solo, why don't you pick just a random note in the scale and have that as your starting note, and then work on playing notes above that and below that, but keep returning to that starting position. Now I'm going to apply everything we've talked about so far, choosing this note as my starting note. I'm choosing the 5th fret of the G string, the 3rd string. And already it sounds different and more original than some of the other ideas I played earlier. And my last tip for today is the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. It's much better to play a very simple idea effectively than to overextend yourself and execute a complicated idea very poorly. I'm going to show you a very complicated solo first, and then afterwards a very simple one, and show you the difference in how they sound. Here's the complicated one first. Here's the simple one. One might start to look more impressive until it quickly crumbles apart. The other one, I was just playing on those two strings using very simple ideas while keeping an effective rhythmic quality to my ideas. Those are my tips. Keep practicing up and down the scale. Those are my tips. Also, keep practicing playing up the scale and down the scale, and then you become more familiar with the notes that you can use. And to summarise the tips for today: 1. Start with soloing on one string. 2. Focus on your rhythmic quality over the melodic complexity. 3. Remember you can go up the scale, down the scale, and jump around. Use variety to your advantage. 4. Try starting on different notes in the scales. And then 5. Keep it simple, stupid, and you're good to go to play amazing sounding pentatonic solos. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next video.